Hello, hello. How is everyone? I hope that you guys are doing amazing on this Wednesday evening. And we are going to be doing a fun tutorial tonight, watercolor tutorial. So if you want to paint with us, grab your paints, grab your markers, grab your pens, grab your brushes, all the things, because we are going to do a super fun spring tutorial tonight. I think you guys are going to love it. Jenna, welcome in. How are you? Ellie, hey, how's it going? Hope you are doing well. And I'm just sharing this out with all the people who normally paint with us so they know that we are on. Because I usually am on in the mornings, but tonight I had to come on in the evening because, of course, hey, Cat, how's it going? Hey, Kinder Kelly, how's it going? Glad you're here. Thank you for the rose, Cat. I appreciate that. All right, y'all don't forget to grab your fan club points right up here, and grab your paints. I'm going to be using the Meeden tube paints tonight. So we'll be using those instead of the normal pan paints that I normally use. Not for any particular reason other than those are what's on my desk tonight. So that's what I'm going to be using. We're going to do a fun little, just a spring tutorial. It's not going to be anything in a series or anything like we've been doing. I'm not going to start another series until Monday. So the rest of this week, we're just going to kind of be doing some random stuff. And so for today, this is what we will be doing. If I can get it to come up, we'll see. It may or may not pin. Let me see. Hang on 1 second and see if I can get it to come up there. There we go. All right, so this is what we're going to do tonight. It's just going to be a fun little ACO spring tutorial. She's watering the garden. She's got some basket of flowers. So that's what we're going to do tonight. Now, just so you guys know, if you have never painted before, that's okay. You can still do this with us. I'm going to talk you through it. If you feel like you can draw, I'm going to teach you how to do that as well. We're going to draw in shapes. It'll be fun and simple. So everybody is welcome to do this with us, and everybody is welcome to ask questions and to join us on our tutorial, okay? And you don't have to have the same supplies that I'm using. You can use whatever you have on hand. Doesn't matter. Just know that the idea is to just have some fun painting, okay? I'm going to go ahead and pull out my brushes so that we have everything that we need. I'm going to be using the Golden Maple detail brush set, and I'm going to be using the Meeden 4-brush set for our watercolor brushes. Now I have to find my other 2 brushes that are in my Meeden set. I don't know what I did with them. I was using them earlier today, so let me just hunt them down really quickly, because my number 1, which is my favorite brush, is in there somewhere, and I don't know what I did with it. So I've got to find it. Because I definitely have to have that brush. I was painting earlier. Here it is. I was painting earlier doing a card for a friend, and I pulled out my brushes to do that, and that is why I'm having to search for them, because they were not exactly where I normally keep them. All right, so we're going to be using the Golden Maple detail brushes, and we're going to use the Meeden brush set as well. And if you have any questions on any of that, you guys let me know. We're going to be using the Meeden 2 brushes. Isn't she Cat? I think she's adorable. I'm excited about it. It's going to be fun. So, hang on. Sorry, I am trying to find these paints. Here they are. All right, so these are the paints that I'm going to be using. And just so you guys know, they do come in tubes. They do not come in a pan. However, they're in a pan for me because I purchased this separately from Meeden and I put them all in the pan, okay? But they look like this. There are 48 colors in this set. And they are beautiful, gorgeous colors. They are environmentally friendly. They are children safe. And they come with a lot of paint because they are 0.4 fluid ounce tubes. So you get a lot of paint. So I went ahead and filled my entire pan up with all 48 colors. And that way I don't have to just select them as I need them. They're all here and I can choose them that way. Okay, so that's the way I did it. I would suggest that if you get these, go ahead and grab the empty tin if you like to paint with pan paints, because I like to paint with pan paints. So, hey Jess, how's it going? Oh my gosh, those little miniature paintings that you did were so stinking cute. I love them. You guys, y'all need to go to Jess's page and check out her little miniature painting tutorial. So stinking cute. Love them. I'm going to have to try some. And when I do, I'll post them and tag you in it because they are so cute. I love them. All right. So if we, so the actual pan for these paints that I purchased was also from Meeden. And it is product number 36. Okay. And it looks like they're low in stock. They only have 5 left. So if you do grab a set of these paints and you're wanting to have a setup like this, you're going to want to grab product number 36 at the same time, okay? I know it. They are awesome for journaling. And you know me. I am a journaler. I love me some journals. As do you, I know. So, yes, Cat. They're so cute. I love them. Okay. All right, so this is what we're going to be doing tonight right here. So I'm going to give you guys the option to take a screenshot of a larger version of this in just a moment before we get started, okay? So if everybody wants to get ready for that, I'm going to pull it up so that you guys can get a screenshot. And that way you have a larger photo of this in case you need it. Because I know that when you're watching these live, sometimes these little images can be very, very hard to see. And also her little hat's kind of cut off in this image, and I want you guys to have the whole thing. So, all right, so get ready. I'm going to show you right now. This is what we're going to be doing. This is the screenshot of what we're going to be painting tonight. So go ahead and take your screenshots. And here, let me shrink this so it's kind of out of the way, so you can get the whole thing. All right, there we go. All right, so take your screenshots. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very good. That is what we're going to be starting on. So grab your paints, grab your pens and pencils, and all the things, okay? I'm going to be using the Nic Pro mechanical pencil. This is from the Nic Pro set. And it comes in a little case with several different sizes. And you get your, you get a point, let me see, you get a 0.5, a 0.7, a 0.9, and you get a 2.0. You get 3 of the 2.0s. All right. So let me just, hang on one second. Let me move this out of the way here. So this is the set. It comes in a case. You get all of your extra leads along with some extra erasers for your pencils and some bigger erasers as well, okay? So you get all this plus a pencil sharpener for your 2.0s. These are made out of sturdy metal, but they're not so heavy that they hinder your drawing. I love to use a mechanical pencil set in my art because it makes my line work consistent. So if you're wanting to get really consistent line work, then using a mechanical pencil set is the solution to that. So just letting you guys know that is what I'm using. However, you do not need to be using what I'm using. You can use whatever you want to use, okay? Whatever you're comfortable with. That's what's important. All right. Hopefully everybody has their paints and stuff ready and we're going to get started. So I'm going to go ahead and bring you guys to the flat position so you can see how we're doing the drawing tonight. Move this out of the way for a moment and we will start our drawing. All right. Let me pull this up. Okay, everybody's got their screenshots. Everybody's ready to go. You guys give me some comments ready in the comments so I know that you're ready to get started. That will help me to know that everybody's gotten their supplies ready and they're ready to go. And we will start our sketching before we start doing our painting. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or if you need me to wait or whatever. Kinder Kelly's ready. Cat's ready. Excellent, excellent. I'm so glad. Okay, so let's get started. Now, this is going to be a little bit more detailed than what we normally do. But I don't want you to panic. It's mostly just shapes. It's going to be very, very simple. Okay, we're going to break it down. So we're going to start out. We're going to start from the bottom. And we're going to start with her feet. Okay, and her feet are going to be basically a little S. Okay, like a little thin S. That's how we're going to do the feet. And they're going to come all the way down and then they're going to go flat right across here. And you're going to give yourself a little rectangle at the bottom as the base of the shoe. And then you're going to bring that up at the heel. And that is going to connect to where her leg goes. Okay. Now, the next one, you're going to do that same thing. You're going to give yourself some space in between your feet. And you're going to do that skinny little S. You're going to bring it all the way around. You're going to give yourself a flat surface and a little rectangle on the bottom for the sole of the shoe. And then you're going to bring it up. And that is her other foot. Okay. How we doing? Give me some thumbs up in the comments. Y'all be sure and tap the screen as much as you possibly can. Let's get lots of likes on that screen so we can be pushed out to the FYP. It is very, very helpful to get the content out there, and it is incredibly appreciated by me, guys. So please, if you're not painting, please tap, tap, tap. Tapping is clapping. Hey, user 8214. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. All right. Now we're going to do the legs. We're going to go up, straight up with the legs. I'm only making her legs about 3/4 of an inch. I don't want to go too high because I will inevitably make her too tall and then I will run out of space. Okay. And we are doing this on an ACEO size, so we want to make sure she's small enough to fit on the screen. As a matter of fact, I'm going to make it a little bit smaller because I don't trust myself. I would rather be too short than too tall. Okay. Then we're going to do her dress. Her dress is going to be, we're going to do a very kind of a flat smiley face for the base of her dress. And then we're going to bring it up into a triangle shape, but it is not going to meet in the center like a triangle does. Okay. We're going to leave an opening right there. Okay. Now let's go ahead and draw 2 little lines in and give ourselves our little overall cover right there. Okay. So basically a little square that's not finished. Okay. And then we're going to draw our shirt. So our shirt is going to come up right here. It's going to be just inside where that connects. And we're going to bring our arms down and it's going to widen out like a sleeve. Okay. Same thing on the other side. We're going to go down and it's going to widen out like a sleeve. And we're going to give our little sleeves some cuffs. Just like that. And then we're going to bring this all the way up and finish that shirt out. But we have to give ourselves some little straps for our overalls. So just do a big, tall, like U. Okay. And then you want to make sure you erase the top of that. Sorry. Let me do that again. Let's take the top off of your overall section first. Do your little overalls. And then connect it in between like that. Okay. Then bring your shoulders to connect. And then make your little neck. It's kind of like a U as well. Close that in. All right. There we are for that. Now we have our neck that we have to make. So it's going to come up like this. Hey, Carrie. Oh, I hate that you have a headache. I'm so sorry. I hate that. I know that's hard. All right. Then we're going to do our head. Y'all, I'm glad I made her shorter because I was very worried that I was going to make her too tall, and I almost did. All right, so I'm going to make, let's see. Let's do this again. Let me erase her neck and fix that. All right, so the neck comes straight up like this, and then we're going to do her head. So our head's going to be like another smiley face, but we're going to bring it all the way around like that. Okay, and then we're going to do her hat. Her hat is going to come around like this and hit her head, and then around like this, and then we're going to draw the brim of her hat. It's like a frowny face across the top that connects on both ends. And then we have the very top of the hat. It's like a triangle, but with a flat edge. And then we have our little ribbon on the hat. Okay. Now the flowers and all the other stuff we will put on the hat after the fact. I made that kind of off center. Let me fix that. Needs to start further over. There we go. Okay. All right. How are we doing so far? Y'all give me some feedback, please. Everybody doing okay so far? We ready to start on the hands? All right, Cat. She says, yep, let's go. Kinder Kelly says, yes. All right, let's do it. All right, so we're going to do our hands like this. We're going to do just a little rectangle there. And then we're going to come out and we're going to do our fingers. Now, she's pretend. She doesn't have to have 5 fingers, okay? You can give her 5 fingers if you want, but we're going to bring the basket handle out from her fingers in the shape of an upside down U. And then we're going to do the basket and we're going to do the flowers and all that. But let's go ahead and let's do the first flower starting at the tip of the basket because we want to cover that up and make our petals like this. Okay, so there's our first flower with our circle on the middle. And then we're going to have that handle come down a little bit right there. And then we're going to have our tulip come up here. Remember we did a tulip last night where we go up like a U. And then we do the point in the middle. And we'll have some leaves coming off of that. But we don't have to do the leaves. We can paint those with our paints in a minute. All right, let's draw the rim of the basket and make it come around just like that. Okay, then we're gonna draw our other flower right here that comes up and across, and our petals come down like this. Just like that. So our basket's kind of covered, and we will have the rest of it come down like this. Okay, so that's our basket. I'm gonna bring the edge of that basket around, and then we're gonna bring that just like that. That finishes that basket. All right, so there's our sort of sketch out of our flowers. We're gonna put leaves and all that in there too. Oh, yum, Doug. I bet it was good. I'm jealous. I'm jealous. None of mine are ready yet. I have a ton of tomatoes, but none of them are ready. All right, so we're going to do this arm right here with this hand. I'm going to give that one 5 fingers. And we're going to have the watering pan. We're going to have to go, I'm going to have to go the opposite direction with the watering pan because I don't have room. So I'm going to go backwards with it. So I'm going to do the handle right here. And this handle is going to come around like this. And I'm having to make this reverse, which is hard. Okay. Hang on. Let me see. All right, I'm going to go up like this. And I'm going to go around like this. And down. Like that. And then we'll do there. Okay. So now we have the watering kettle, which is not great, but it's the best I can do, doing it reverse. Let me see if I can do it a little bit better. Maybe I can do it better. That's not the best I can do. I'm gonna give it a better shot. All right, that's a little bit better. Okay. Oh, you had a tree fall Monday evening. Oh, that sucks. It knocked out our internet, our satellite So I'm having to wait on new hardware, which is why my signal is so terrible right now, because I'm on my phone signal. But yeah, that was a bad storm. Bad storm. It was really bad. All right, let's draw our eyes and our nose and our mouth. Oh, we got to have ears on her too. Let's see. There we go. Now we got ears. All right, we'll do the hair and the pigtails and all that stuff as we put our color on. That's our base. That's what we're going to go with for now. All right, so everybody tell me where we're at. Who's ready to move on? Give me a thumbs up if you're ready to move on. I'm going to go ahead and use my kneaded eraser to lighten up these lines so that we're not too dark. Okay. All right. Ready to go then. Let's move on. Kat and Kinder are ready. Okay. I'm going to probably, the majority of the time, use my detail brushes because this is such a small area, but I will also be using my Meeden #1 quite a bit. I'm going to be using the Meeden tube paints, and understand that the colors that I choose are going to be the colors that I want to make her dress and hat and all that kind of stuff, but you can choose any color you want. So you don't have to use mine, okay? Just know that you can do whatever colors you want. I'm going to pull these out of here so I have room to actually work and not have to worry about this case being in my way. All right. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We are going to take our Meeden #1 brush and we are going to dip into, oh, you know what? We need to do before we do that, we need to draw the buckles on her shoes. So we're going to make a dip right here. I'm doing it really light. And then we're going to do a square buckle here. Okay. So just make sure that you have that. So we're going to do a square buckle right here and dip so that we have that drawn in. So when I do her shoes, it won't mess them up. Okay. All right. Now for her shoes, I'm going to go with I'm going to use a light green. I'm going to use this sea green color right here. I like that color and I want to use it in her shoes instead of the blue. So go ahead and do that. I'm going to pull out my Meeden palette mixing tin so that I can get some decent lightness out of this. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to go in and we're going to just add that to her shoes. Okay. And once we've done that, we want to go in and get a little bit more of that pigment and drop in just a little bit of that darker pigment on the toe of the shoes. Let it spread on its own and do what it does, okay? Let me grab a paper towel. I didn't grab it before I sat down, so And let that just do, you know, give it that little shadow on the tips of her toes. Okay. Now, for her socks, we're going to make those socks striped. So we're going to start with the white at the bottom, and then we're going to pick whatever color you want to make her stripes. You want them to match her dress, so decide on what color you're going to make her dress and use the same color on the stripes. I'm going to use this purpley color right here, which I love. Hey, Stacy Lee, glad you're here. We just got started. All right, so make sure that you have, that it's light enough and that you don't have too much water, because this is a very small area, and you're going to go through and give her the stripes that she needs. That's not quite dark enough, so. Okay. Just making little rectangles is all. This is why I'm using this little brush, because we don't want these stripes to be too big. Okay. All right. Now, remember, every piece of art goes through an ugly phase. So if you're feeling like yours is looking a little wonky, don't worry. It will get better. Okay. Just know that. All right. We're going to go ahead now. I'm going to switch brushes. Okay. So I'm taking my detail brush and putting it down, and I'm going to use my Meeden #1. All right. So you need, you know, if not super large, but you do need a brush that's got, you know, a larger tip to it. These are the brush sets that I use, in case you're wondering. This is the Meeden set that I'm using right now, okay? And it's the #1 out of the 4 brush set. The 4 brush set comes with the 1, 3, 5, and 7. The 9 brush set comes with more sizes, obviously, but I don't know what they are. The 4 brush set is all I have, and it's what I've had for over 2 years now, and I love it, and I haven't needed a 9 brush set. Stacy, here you go. Here's the bigger picture for you. If you want to go ahead and take a screenshot of that. Okay. Kathy, did you have a question about product #1? Is that the pencil set? Let me see. Yeah, the pencil set, that's what we use to draw this. Let me know if you have any questions about it. It is a wonderful sketching set. So, okay. All right, so we are going to move on now to the dress. So what I want you to do is I want you to take some clear water. Heckman Art Cart, thank you for joining. Welcome in. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take some clear water, and we're going to fill in our dress, okay? I'm not going to go up into the suspender area just yet, because I feel like this brush is a little bit big for that area, but we can go with it in the detail with the detail brush later. Okay. So for now, just do the big part of the dress. Okay. And we're going to take the same color we used in the socks, and we are going to drop it in along the sides on the left side. Okay. And then we're going to drop it in on the edges of the right side. Okay. Then you're going to rinse your brush. Okay. Now you have a rinsed brush, and you've taken a towel and you've dried it off, and you're going to now spread that pigment into the center of the dress. So it has a bit of a tint to it. Okay. It's barely purple. Now you're going to take your detail brush. This is the Golden Maple set that I'm using. I'm going to pull it up. Where is it? I know it's here. Here it is. And I do have a flash sale for this. So I'm going to start that just because these brushes are normally $34.98. And I'm going to start the flash sale. It's going to drop it down to $29.99 in case anybody's interested. Okay. All right. So that's this set. Now it has 20 different brushes in this set. I'm currently using and they're all small detail brushes. I'm currently using the 12. And I'm going to dip into my purple again. And I'm going to bring it right along the edge here. And I'm going to rinse my brush. Okay. And then I'm going to take that and I'm going to kind of spread that along that edge so that we have kind of a purpley shadow there. Okay. Now we're going to put those pockets in. Okay. That she has. She's got a pocket, 2 pockets, one on each side. So here's how we're going to do the pockets. We're going to go in and we're going to take purple pigment and we're going to do like a little V like that. Okay. And we're going to rinse that brush, dry it off on our paper towel, and we're going to drag it up like this. That's going to create that first little pocket. Don't worry about the outlines. We're going to do that in a minute, okay? And then we're going to do that same thing with the second pocket, okay? We're going to make a little V. And we're going to rinse that brush, dry it off, and we're going to drag that pigment up to make that pocket. Okay. I'm going to fix this. This is a little fuzzy and I don't want it to be. Okay. So we have 2 little pockets there now. Those V's are a little bit much, but that's all right. I should have made them less angled, but that is okay because we can fix it. All right, so there's our pockets. Now go ahead and take that same detail brush and get some color in to the upper part of that dress that we didn't get with the other brush because it was too big. Clear water blends everything. So just know if you need to, clear water is your solution. Okay. All right, let's do the pocket on the little chest area too. Okay. Let me dry that before we do, because otherwise it'll smear. Okay. All right, we are going to now take that pigment. We're going to make our little pocket in the middle here. and rinse our brush. Take some clear water and kind of blend that up. To make that pocket. Okay, so we have our 3 pockets done. How are we doing? Y'all give me some feedback. Let me know. Okay, let's go ahead and put some shadows on this right side. I'll take some pigment and go in right along the right side and right along the bottom here. Then I'm going to rinse my brush, clear water, I'm going to drag it out. And I'm going to put a little bit right along the bottom. On both sides. Rinse my brush, clear water, and drag that up. Okay. All right, there's our dress. Okay, Kat's doing good. All right, Kinder, how are you doing? Miss Kinder Kelly, are you still hanging in with us? All right, we're going to go in with the shirt. It's going to be this same green color. It's going to match the shoes. Oh, good. Okay, caught up. Excellent. All right. So I'm going to grab some green. I don't want too much. Remember, you can use your palette to lighten it up by adding water. And we're going to go in and we're going to add in the shirt. Remember, all this is just your base coat. We're going to do some shadowing and detail work, so if it's going through an ugly phase, that's totally okay. Remember, everything goes through an ugly phase first, okay? All right, so we have our green shirt done in there, and now we're going to go in. We have to still do the straps on the overalls. So I'm just going to put a little purple at the top of each one. I'm going to rinse my brush and I'm going to drag that color down. Just like that. For the overalls. And you know what? I think I'm going to do the cuffs that same purple. They're white in the original picture, but I think they'll look good purple. So I'm going with purple. Okay. All right. Good job there. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to, we'll fix all the rest of it in a little while. We'll do the details and stuff, but let's go ahead and get the hat. So the hat, I'm going to use this ochre color. I'm going to spray this, y'all. I need to spray it. I need to spray my paints. I didn't spray them before we started, but I definitely need to do that, so. All right. That is going to be very helpful in getting the colors that we need for the hat without getting too much. Okay. All right. So I'm going to get a little bit of this ochre color and we're going to put it in the top of the hat. And the brim of the hat. Okay. Now, underneath that, we're going to get this darker ochre color that's next to it, or a darker color in the same shade of whatever you made your hat. And we are going to put that in the under part of the hat, because that needs to be a little bit darker and shadowed. Probably even darker than that. There we go. That's better. Okay. What color do we want to make our little ribbon on our hat? I think I'm going to go with the purple that we used in the shirt. Oh, yay. I'm glad you got some credit for that, Stacy Lee. That's good. You should grab you those Lango pens. Those are really nice. They're worth having. All right. Now I'm going to put a flower on her too. But I'm going to do that with my Lango pens in just a little while. Okay. You can use that credit on those Lango pens if that's what you want. Okay. All right, so we have that. So now let's go ahead and get the skin tone done. All right, so for the skin tone, I'm going to use this like pinkish color right here. This is what I usually use for skin. And then I'll go in with a little bit lighter color for like the cheeks, or darker color for like the cheeks. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in there. Lots of water, so it's very mild. So whatever color you want the skin to be. Make sure you get the ears too. And the neck. And then you want to get the hands and the arms. You got your pens, Kinder? Yay! Do you love them? Tell me you love them. I know you do. Did you, when you opened the box, did you just have this like aha moment, one of those moments where you went, oh, I love these? That's what I did when I opened them. All right, let me dry that. Oh, you haven't? Have you opened them? Open them up. Open the box. tell me how much you love just the feel of them when you open them. Because that is what I loved it. When I opened them, I was like, oh my God, they're so gorgeous. Okay, perfect. We're going to use them tonight. So, all right, let's go ahead and do the watering can. I'm going to use a green, but I'm going to use like a darker grassy spring green. And we're going to do the handle. Make sure you have enough water that it spreads and blends down. I'm just using light color first to kind of get an outline of what I want. And then I'm going to go back in and add. Now we want the inside to be fairly dark. So we'll put a flower on this too in a minute, but we'll do that with the gel pen. So okay, we'll put a gray on the center of this right here. Okay. Now don't worry how that looks. We're going to put some detail in it. So we're just getting the base colors on right now. Okay, guys. With the basket, we're going to use this darker brown. And we're going to go in and paint around our flowers. Just like that. We'll put that basket weave look in just a minute. Okay. You opened them? Okay, good. I'm glad you opened them. Did you love the colors? They're amazing. I love them so much. I'm glad they came in. All right, I'm going to put a little bit of the shadow right here at the base of this basket. And then I'm going to just kind of drag it. Add some water if you need to blend it. Okay. All right, there we are. All right, we have all of our base color on. Don't worry about the flowers. We're going to do those with gel pens. I drew them in so I would know how to do the basket, but we're going to fill them in with gel pens. All right, so what I want is I want everyone to make sure everything's dry, okay? So go ahead and dry your stuff first. And the hair too, don't worry, she's going to have hair, I promise. We just haven't gotten to that yet. Okay, the first thing before we do the hair, we have to draw in some of those hairlines. So I didn't want to do that until we got everything done. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to take our 003 out of our Grabby waterproof pen set. Or use your Sakura Pigma micron pens, whatever you like, okay? These are the ones that I use. That's what I'm using right now. I'm using the 003 out of this set. It's the smallest one they make, and it is a teeny, tiny, itty-bitty tip, okay? So it's going to give for good details. All right, and what we're going to do is we're going to go in and we are going to start putting in some detail into our sketch. We're just drawing in her hair. Okay. Ears. And neck. Okay, so now that we have that part done, we want to make sure, first of all, let's get her ears, like this middle of her ears kind of done. And then, oh, I didn't do this. Let me get the top of this hat done. Okay. Just giving it a little bit of detail there. A little bit of cross hatching. Not that that's going to matter because we're going to have a flower there. I forgot. But anyway, okay. Eyes, nose, mouth. All right, now it's time to do her little pigtails. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring that hair all the way down. Okay. And we are going to have those pigtails come out from underneath her ear. And we're making kind of a little triangle. Okay, and we're going to kind of just do some hatching right there. Okay. And then over here, we're going to do the same thing. I know it looks weird right now. Just be patient. Trust the process. I promise you it's going to get there. Okay, so again, we're going to do that little triangle with some hatching through there. Okay, now we are going to take our detail brush and we're going to put in our bows and then we'll finish these pigtails out. Okay, so take your detail brush, pick your color. I'm going to use the purple that I used in the dress, and I'm going to put a dot right here in the middle. And I'm going to clean my brush, okay? So my brush is clean. And I'm going to draw these little squares from that pigment. Or little triangles, not squares. Sorry. Okay? And then I'm going to take my pen and draw her pigtails out, okay? Now we're going to fill that in with some brown in just a minute, so no worries there. But just know that we're okay. Same thing over here. I'm going to take my detail brush and I'm going to put a little dot right here of pigment, and then I'm going to rinse my brush. And I'm going to drag that pigment out into a triangle shape. So that you have those bows. Okay. And then I'm going to finish my pigtails out. Just like that. Okay. Now, what I want you to do is take your detail brush, decide what color you want her hair to be. I'm going to go ahead and go in with kind of this same color that I used on the hat. Okay, and I'm going to use that to kind of bring the color of her hair to match. Okay, just like that. Good. How are we doing so far? Can you zoom out a little? Yes. Like this. That way? Is that what you mean? Does that help? I can even go more if you need me to. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go in and give her cheeks. We want to give her some cheeks. So go ahead and drop some water in where you want the cheeks to go. And pick your cheek color. I'm going to use this like coral pink. Oh, I'm sorry, Kinder Kelly. I basically just filled it all in, is all I did with that color. All right, and drop in your pigment for the cheeks. Make sure you don't go overboard, but you definitely want to have enough color that it's noticeable, which I just messed that up. I should have left it the way that it was the first time, and I didn't. So let's give it a little bit more. Okay, so now she has her little cheeks. Drop some water in there. Okay. Let's dry them. I may need to put some more color in there. Ooh, that just looks weird. All right, hang on. Let me fix this. All right, I'm going to spread this out with water and just blend it so that doesn't look so crazy. Okay, and now I'm going to go back in. I'm going to try that again. That's the great thing about watercolors is they are forgiving and you can fix them. And that is what I'm doing. So I'm going to let that spread. Okay, I'm not going to touch those. Those look good. So I'm going to leave those there and dry them. Okay. I've got some harsh lines I'm just going to blend out. This is why I use a waterproof pen when I'm doing my details. So if I have to go back over it, I don't want to mess it up. I don't want it to smear. All right, so there is the face. That looks good. Now, I want to take a little bit of that same pink color that we used for the cheeks, and I'm going to give the base of the neck just a little bit of a shadow. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. Right under here. I had a... And then rinse your brush and just kind of blend it out. So you kind of have a little shadow under the neck there. Okay. Stacy Lee, message me privately and we can talk about it. Puzzle Princess, I'm using a 2.5 by 3.5 inch size. It's very small. It's It is a ACEO size, 2.5 by 3.5 inches. All right, now let's go ahead and pull out our Grabby Multiliner again, and it's time to continue on with our details. So we are going to go ahead and continue on with our shirt. And we're going to put our dot right here for our overalls. All right, here's how we're going to do the pockets. Oh, you're welcome. The pockets, we're going to just go down with them and across, and then we're going to go up and over. And you're going to put a little dot in the center. Just like that. And then we're going to outline the basket. All right, here's how we're going to do that basket weave. We're going to kind of do very light sketch lines. Okay, and then we're going to do light sketch lines across like this. So it's very subtle. Okay. Okay. Just remember, these lines don't have to be perfect. They just need to give it the guise of this is where they go. Because we want it to be very whimsical. And whimsical is not straight, solid, perfect lines. Okay. Let's put our little buckles on our shoes. Oh, she's cute. Okay, now what I want to do is we are going to go ahead and go in with our gel pens to do the flowers. I'm going to start with a pink flower, and I'm going to use, these are going to layer, okay? These are pens that layer. They have a very, they have the upgraded ink system in these so that they layer really well, okay? These are the Lango pens. They're the 0.7 tip. And we're going to use them for creating all of the flowers. The first flower we're going to do is right here. So we're going to go ahead and go in here with this one, and we're going to draw our flower petals just like that. Fill it in. You can see they're super juicy. You don't get any kind of streaking, and they cover really well. All right, so we're going to do that. This one is the BG124. That's the number I'm using, but you can use whatever color you want, okay? Now, before you layer, you have to make sure they're dry. Okay, they will not layer if they're dry. This is acrylic paint that is coming out in a pen form, okay? So if you know anything about blending acrylic paints, you know that if you blend them when they're wet, they're going to smear together. But if you layer them when they're dry, they layer one on top of each other. So that's what we're doing here, okay? So I'm going to take my center, and I'm going to create the center of my flower. Right here, okay? And I'm going to make sure that's dry. And then I'm going to do my detail work with my 003 Grabby. And that is just basically tracing my petals roughly. Okay, like that. Okay. All right, same thing over here. We're going to go with, I'm going to do a light pink on the first flower, which is this one. Okay, and then I'm going to do a yellow center. Just like that. And then I'm going to take my dark pink. I'm going to make sure that's dry. And I'm going to bring that dark pink down in the center of these petals. Just like that. I'm going to dry it. And then I'm going to outline them so that you can see them. Just like that. All right, the next one we're going to do with yellow. And then I'm going to use an orange for the center. I'm going to dry it. Take my Grabby. And then we're going to do our tulip, which is going to be blue. Let it dry. I'm going to use a darker blue right at the base. And then I'm going to take my grabby and outline that. Then we'll add in our leaves. Okay. All right. All right, let's add in our leaves. I'm going to take the darker green, and we are going to give ourselves a stem right here. And we are going to give ourselves some leaves flopping over like that. And maybe one right here. And one right here. Let's go ahead and bring one out off of the side of this one. Maybe up here. Like that. So we have our leaves in there, and let's go ahead and put our outline on those. There we go. All right, so we have our flowers and all of that. Now, let's go ahead and put our pens away, and we are going to pull out our colored pencils, and we will add in the, hang on, I'm going to put these away. I can't talk and I can't put my pens away and talk at the same time because my brain doesn't allow me to do that. Which is not good, y'all. It's my neurodivergency kicking in. All right. Put it right there. Okay. Now that we have basically the base all done, it's time to pull out our colored pencils. All right. So we're going to use, thank you, Nicole. I appreciate that. Thank you, Kelly20. I appreciate that. I know, Kinder Kelly. They are amazing, aren't they? They're so juicy. I wasn't lying when I said that. I'm telling you, the pens are amazing. I'm so glad yours came in today so you could use them today on this painting. Because we did a lot of the flowers and stuff, and they're so cool. I'm so glad you love them. Okay, you guys, that's the Lango pen. It's the 90 color set that we're talking about, in case you're wondering. Okay, we are now going to pull our pencils out. This is the Color color pencil set that I'm using. Use any color pencil set that you like. I don't care. But that's what I'm using, and I'm going to use, let's see, we are going to pull out, all right, we got to get some blues for the shirt. So I'm going to use this dark blue, this light blue or green, mint green, light aqua, and this dark turquoise. Okay, so these are the three greens for the shirt that I'm going to use. Remember, depending on what shirt you use is what colors you're going to want to use for the shading, okay? So we're going to go in and right along the edges of the, I'm going to use this one. Right along the edges of the suspenders and right up underneath the arms. You're going to want to add in some shadowing. All right, good. Now we want to add in a little bit of shadowing right here. I'm going to go ahead and add in some of this darker shadowing right here and then blend it out with this mint color. Same thing on the shoes. I'm going to go in with this dark color on the base of the shoes. And then we're going to use the mint color. And then this medium color. To bring out those shadows and that. I think that's good. All right, we're going to put those colors away. And then we're going to pull out our purples for the dress. So let's get those pulled out. Okay. And we're going to need, let me see what we're going to need for our purples. We're going to need this grayish pink. We are going to need this lilac. And we're going to need the ultraviolet. Okay. For the purples. I'm going to go in with my light color first, right along the sides here and across the bottom. Light touch. Whoops. Second color. And very dark. Just right in the corners. Okay, we're going to go back in with that light color again. I'm also going to grab a white just to blend if I need to. Actually, this might be a better color to blend with. Nope, I'm going to use the white. I just go right over the top of it to kind of blend that out. And then I'm going to go over it again. Use the light color. This is a medium pressure. Then the medium color. Not quite as far out. And then the dark color right in the corners. Then use their white and blend that out again. Honestly, I think 2 layers will be good. I don't think we'll need the third one. Okay, so now we have that dress. That looks really nice. All right, and then the basket will be next. So I'm going to use 2 colors on the basket. I'm going to use the brown olive, and I'm going to use the reddish brown. Okay, I'm going to use this brown olive first to just kind of pull across the side here. And then this one, not quite as far, just barely. Then I'm going to do that again with medium pressure. Now heavy pressure. Okay. Now, I need a really light brown to kind of blend that out. I may have to use white. All right, there we go. Okay, that brings our basket. All right, there we have it. You think we need to do anything to her socks? What do y'all think? Let me know. What do you think about socks? I think her socks look fine, but if you guys think we need to give them some shadows, maybe we could do just some little dark right along the left side. Just like that. And then we're good. I think she looks super stinking cute. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to splatter her, but I want to make sure that we don't get her face. So I'm going to tear this and I'm going to cover her face. Because we want her face to stay clean. All right. Now I'm going to take my, let's see, where's my number 1 brush? Take my number 1 brush. I'm going to take the green that I used in her shoes and in her shirt, and I'm going to splatter that. Then I'm going to take the purple. Oops. Is that the right purple? Yeah. Okay. There we are. And now let's take her off. And let's dry it. She doesn't have a background, but I think we're all right with that. If we want to, we can put a little bit of some splotchiness in the background if you want to, but I'm going to leave her the way she is. I think she looks good. We should have put a background on her, but I didn't. But I can, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to draw a border. So I'm going to take my Grabby multiliner, and I am going to just give her a quick hand-drawn border. Doesn't have to be straight. Okay. All right, now let's peel the tape. And there we are, our little springtime girly girl. I think she's precious, y'all. What do you guys think? Did y'all have fun tonight? Let me know if this is fun, or are you not liking what I'm choosing? I need some feedback from you guys because I can't do tutorials without feedback from y'all because I don't know what you want. So give me some feedback on this. Hey, Sonia, how's it going? So y'all give me some feedback on if that tutorial was helpful. Did you learn anything? All the things. Love her, so cute. Yay, Kat, I'm so glad. Kelly 28 or 208 girl, thank you. She's cute, but not your style. Okay, that's fine. That's totally okay. You can make her your style however you want, Miss Kaylee. She's not really my style either, to be quite honest. I had her done, and then I was like, I don't know if I like her, but I'm going to go ahead and do it because I don't have time to do another one. So I think she turned out all right, though. Definitely, though, had a lot more detail than I normally do in certain areas and all of that. But I think she turned out so cute. It's good. Love, love, love watching her videos. Thank you, Sonia. I do too, Stacey Lee. I'm much better. I'm much more like the animals and the characters and all of that. I do. That's really my bread and butter. But it's good to step out of your comfort zone occasionally and do things that are not necessarily what you normally do, because that's how you grow as an artist. And you guys have made me step out of my comfort zone so many times. So you know what? We didn't put our sun in there, and we didn't put a bee or a butterfly in there either, but that's all right. We'll leave it. I think she turned out cute. I love her. I'm very pleased with her. She's definitely not my standard, like, normal person or normal painting that I would normally do, but she turned out cute. Tomorrow, Kinder, I don't know. I haven't thought about it. What do you guys want to do tomorrow? Y'all give me some feedback on what you might want to do. We could do, let me see. We can do some fun stuff. Let's see. I have lots of things like in my repertoire of things that I want to try. Let me see. Let me pull up my board so I can show you guys what I have. Yeah, flip-flops for summer. That would be fun. Let's see. What about something like, let's see. Let me find something. We could do something like this. Obviously not this style because it's not my style, but we could do a dinosaur. We could do, let me see. This is my board. Let me show you my board, and you guys can kind of give me some feedback. This little guy's super cute. Look at him. My goodness, he's adorable. This guy's adorable. So we can do any of that kind of stuff. I like him. I think he's cute. We could do him. What is he, an iguana? I think he's an iguana. But he would be fun. What do y'all think? I'm just killing time until Monday. We're going to start our patriotic stuff on Monday. Sorry. I'm showing y'all my messy studio. Oh, we could do some butterflies. Yep, there's butterflies. I like him too, Kinder Kelly. I think he's cute. So maybe I'll type that into chat and see what he can come up with as far as like an iguana that's in our style or in my style, because that's kind of all I really know how to paint. So, but there's lots of different, we can do tons of different stuff. Here's a little grasshopper that's super cute too. He's cute. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, guys. Oh, goodness. Oh, a chameleon. Okay. Thank you, Kelly, for clarifying that. All right. So we'll do something like that. I'll do some talking with chat, and we'll come up with something really cute for us to do tomorrow. That'll be a fun character that's kind of more in our wheelhouse, because I know this was definitely out of our wheelhouse, but honestly, it's good to get out of your wheelhouse occasionally, because if you don't, you will not grow as an artist. So it's very important for us occasionally to do things that are not necessarily comfortable for us. Okay. All right, guys, I appreciate it. I thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. It was so fun. I'm going to pop off of here and go make some dinner. I'm still a little under the weather with all of the sickness that I had last week. But I'm glad that I'm back at it this week, and I've had a blast. Tomorrow, I will be on in the morning. So we'll be back to our normal morning times tomorrow around 11 a.m. Central Standard Time for our next tutorial. We'll do some sort of a in our wheelhouse character. Okay. All right. I think that this turned out beautiful tonight, though. I love it. And I'm going to sign it while I'm thinking about it, so that I have that signed. I have to show y'all what I did today, though. I did do this. This was the card that I was making, but she didn't turn out very good. So I decided not to send this as the card. I'm going to make her a new card, but I have a birthday card that needs to go out. Thank you, Jess. I think she turned out super cute. I do. She was definitely out of my wheelhouse, for sure. Was not something that I'm used to, but she turned out pretty decent. And then this was the one I just played around with today. I think she turned out cute, too. I like these little whimsical girls, but they definitely are not my style and not something that I'm used to, so I'm definitely having to practice and learn how to do them, for sure. But I think she turned out cute. Just not cute enough for me to send as a birthday card to somebody. I'm not thrilled with how she turned out, so. All right, guys. I will see you guys tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time for our Friday morning tutorial. All right, guys? Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. I had fun. Bye.